It really is. Thank you so much for coming along. The reason that I've asked Claire to join us today is I'm very, very aware that we are about to move into half term. And half term, for a lot of parents in our community, can bring some very difficult moments and some very difficult days with children who have extreme or difficult and dangerous behaviour. Now, the thing is, in our community, parents are so concerned about their children that we often forget about ourselves. And it's even worse than that. Sometimes we feel guilty about looking after ourselves because we want absolutely everything to be completely perfect and right for our children. The thing is, though, that by looking after ourselves, once we feel better and we feel good about ourselves and we are in a good place and we are having our own needs met, we will actually be better parents because everything becomes easier. So whatever next week throws at you, if you're feeling a little bit better and you've looked after yourself a tiny bit more, hopefully it's going to be that little bit easier. Am I right, Claire? What would you please say hello and let
Hi,
me know what you
everyone.
think.
Nice to meet you and nice to connect, Yvonne. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. It's lovely to have you.
Yeah, so I think I can resonate with those feelings of guilt sometimes that I'm a parent. I've got kids who are age 7 and 4. It's good to just get the second one back into school, and I think you do. Any parent experiences those points in their life where at times things are rocking and rolling, and then at other times it all feels like it's just completely falling apart. And I think when you get to that stage and you realize you're feeling guilty and a bit anxious or depressed, that it's really important that you reach out, you find the support. That there's so much support out there these days, and just having conversations like we're having today can make a massive difference. Yeah. You realize you're not on your own. It is something that we all share as parents, and it's finding, I think, little simple things that you can do throughout the day that can be really helpful in perhaps managing some of those emotions. And I think it's really important to acknowledge those emotions of guilt that we all share, but looking at ways in which we can perhaps turn that around. A simple thing we do, for example, is we make good use of our Alexa at home. Searching for a song, like often in the mornings, I will put Pharrell Williams' Happy song on. There's a great interview actually between him and Oprah. It's very emotional to watch, but yeah, just putting that song on in the morning if I'm feeling a bit like, and especially if I've been up in the night with one of the children, it just helps to clear out and gets you in a good mood. I think music is a good mood adjuster.
Yeah, and also that could be a really good idea as well if a child is being resistant about getting dressed or getting, getting up and out to school in the morning, or if they're not wanting to go to school. Sometimes putting music on and just being silly and dancing around can shift the mood so that you're not actually in that awful sort of confrontational loggerheads. Yes, you will get up. No, I won't get up. Yes, you will get up. No, I won't get up. Where it just escalates and nobody's got anywhere to go other than to argue. So that's a lovely idea. So yeah,
one of the other things that we do, and something that I do with my 4-year-old, is use the Headspace app. I believe you can get so many sessions for free. There is a paid version of it as well. I do the paid version because I kind of totaled up how much it was for the year, and I thought, well, if that is the cost of mental health, that's actually quite cheap. And it helps to keep us both sane. If he's a very early riser, So and he didn't sleep for the best part of 3 years, to be honest. So kind of,
I feel your
matchsticks.
pain.
Totally. I've had to really work on my own sleep pattern a lot, because there was points if he got the sniffles and he was poorly in the night where we might be up every 40 minutes, and after day 5 and then 6 and then 7 and then month, after month, it becomes quite painful. But one of the things that we do regularly in the morning is use the Headspace app. He loves the little animations. It's something that I do with him on my phone, but he's learning about different emotions from that. So like the meditation we looked at this morning was the impatient yogi, and there's some really cute little animations. There's a whole section for kids and parents on there as well.
Brilliant.
And sleep sections, and what to do with frustration and anger. And one of the things that we've been also practicing lately is almost seeing anger as separate to yourself, almost like giving it a character. He likes to give it a color. So if he's like, I'll say, oh, there's that anger thing, there it is, oh, there it is over there, and we pretend it's like over there, and it helps to almost like remove it out of him. It's
and that's lovely as well, because what you're doing is you're showing him that you still love him. He is
I think you broke up a little bit then. Just say that again.
Sorry. Yes. What's lovely about that is that you're showing him that he is not his anger, that it's separate to him, and that you still love him, and it's not the anger, and you can both tackle the anger together, which is a lovely way of thinking about it. Now, you are completely different to me, in as much as you are really into movement. Now, as you know, with my reduced mobility, that's much harder for me. But I'm very aware that moving and exercise can actually have quite a significant effect on well-being and mood.
Yeah, so
would
I'm
you
really
like
passionate.
to tell us a bit about that, please?
Yeah, I'm really passionate about helping people to get moving. As you can see, I'm not sat down on my device. I'm on a real mission, and have been throughout lockdown, to help get people moving and not feel like they just have to sit down all the time. Obviously, we've all got different levels of mobility, and actually we work a lot with people who sometimes can't get up and down off the floor very easily. I have worked with chair-based people. I used to work with an MS group when I worked for Cotswold District Council as the falls prevention officer there, pre what I do now, but a whole range of people. And really what we do is we make it very bespoke to the individual. So we create individualized movement plans, often for people who've got bad backs, stiff hips, dodgy knees, who feel sometimes that something's gotten in the way of their health and well-being moving forward. And I think we're very much about celebrating little mini wins and incremental changes with movement. So, like for example, someone when they first start with us might not be able to get up and down to the toilet very well. So we look at the movement patterns in how they can squat better, getting up and down off the floor. Those sorts of things that a lot of people do take for granted every day.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So what would you suggest would be a good movement for, say, a mum? And also we, in our community, over half term, there are going to be an awful lot of children and young people who just want to park themselves on their device for the whole week and never come off. Are there any movements or anything you could do while they're sitting and playing a game even? Is there anything you can think of that can help parents feel less worried about their child's lack of activity, but also that might give them a boost if they were to suddenly have a little burst of energy for a couple of minutes? What would you suggest?
Yeah, so I think that managing device time is really important. If I think about how we manage it in our family, I think as soon as they have the device, it can be hard to get it away.
Yeah.
And setting time frames around it is really important, because if we don't set time frames, then over a life cycle, it can become a much bigger problem of obesity and type 2 diabetes and that sort of thing. But, you know, choosing certain things that help the child move around whilst they're on the device. There's little dance games that people can play, that kids can play. There's you know, things that just get them moving around. You can tap back into Joe Wicks on YouTube.
Yes.
We have a channel that people can tap into as well. So you can use your device in a positive way to get yourself moving. Search for, you know, your favorite songs and little workouts. There's so much out there.
Yeah, and also things like Pokemon Go, which is a game that you actually play while you're walking around.
Yes.
It keeps you active. So you know, those sort of things might be worth encouraging.
Totally. And for me, I'm a great outdoorsy person. So, you know, there's a lot of, it's hard to get vitamin D in the winter. Vitamin D is really important for our bone health. Just getting some daily sunlight early in the morning can also help people's sleep patterns. So we do try to get out first thing in the morning, go out to a park or a woodland, or, you know, just a cycle around the streets or out on scooters. But of course, that depends again on the child's mobility and the mobility of the parent. And it, you know, I know that in past times it takes me 3 hours to get out of the house when they're quite small, and you know, you're breastfeeding, all that sort of thing as well. So it can be very, very individual, I think.
Yeah, and also for a lot of our community, particularly with the older kids, they sometimes are so low and in such a bad place that you can't even get them out of their bedrooms, never mind out of the house. And you know, it's there are a lot of children who do develop quite significant sort of mental health and real sort of phobias as well about leaving the house, which, you know, is quite difficult because just because so I think we have to then look at different ways of doing it. They might not be able to go for a run in the park, but they could do some star jumps in their bedroom, maybe, if you know, that's safe, where nobody's going to be watching, where they won't feel self-conscious, but they still stay fit.
Yeah, one of the things that we did actually for free as a business when we went into lockdown was to offer virtual, like a virtual park run. One of the things I volunteer to do on a weekend is to warm up the children's park run, which is done outdoors. But you know, when we were in lockdown, I decided to do my own virtual version of it on Facebook. No idea what buttons to press, but we got there. But we'd have a different theme every week. So so that could be something that someone could easily do in the house. So like, for example, you could have a pants on your head theme one week. So you choose a few good songs that you like, and then you put your pants on your head and you run around the room with your pants on your head. And then the next person chooses the song. So the parent chooses one, then the child chooses one, and then someone else from the family. Or like we have like an ABC theme going on. And we choose a theme to match the ABC. So like, for example, it might be healthy eating. So I say A for apple, you say B for
banana.
Yes, I say C for carrots, you say D for
dates.
Exactly. Whilst you're doing
whilst you're running.
Exactly. Or, you know, moving your arms around. And just making a game of it, but also making it so it's a learning about, you can only choose foods that you think that are healthy. So that it helps with the creative flow of attracting health to us. I think that's really important.
And also, I think you've brought up something really important there. Sometimes family life just gets so intense, and we as parents are desperate for the children to do something, and the more we try to get them to do it, the more resistant they become. And sometimes just introducing something funny, just a bit of laughter, a bit of lightheartedness, just can really kind of just take that intensity away and really diffuse things and make things loads easier. So I think that's a huge part of it as well. Just have fun.
Yeah, totally. We have the tickle monster that comes out in our house. That works quite well. Bertie's at that age where he loves poo and bottoms. So always brings a smile to people's faces.
Yeah. I can see we've got some people watching us. Be lovely if anybody wants to say hello or to ask a question, please just drop it in the chat. We'll do what we can to help. Claire, have you got any sort of top tips for half term to keep active, keep happy? Have you got anything that you'd like to sort of pass on?
So for me personally, in our family, I would have a different activity happening on each day. So like we will spend a few days away. So day 1, we will go to the beach. Day 2, we will go to the beach. Day 3, we're going to go for a walk in nature. From there, day 4, I'm going to go and meet a friend. So that helps me socially. Next day, I'm going to be doing some pumpkin carving with the kids. So I've kind of got this structure already happening. Now, probably, other people may not have that structure, but I've also checked in with the kids to see what do they want to do over half term. So, they have some input on deciding what's going to happen. I think that's really important that, you negotiate with your child, because sometimes what you think they're going to like isn't what they actually like. And, they change their minds sometimes, as we all do. But I think just having a daily focus can be really, really helpful. And, it isn't all peachy and rosy. But I think if you can try and work towards certain things and have little mini goals, even if it's just a mini goal throughout the day, then I find that's quite helpful. And it's something I think other parents could make use of.
Lovely. So brilliant. So are there any quick sort of exercises people could do at home without going out that will get them going for a couple of minutes? What would you suggest?
So let's say someone feels a bit stiff in their lower back. So kind of around this area, a simple exercise they could do, and if anyone wants to do it with me now whilst you're watching, feel free to come and have a little lie down. So a basic one would be just to drop your knees from one side to the other like this, and then a kind of level up from that would be to bring your knees up and over more this way. So doing a couple of sets of 10 of those. If it's tricky to come up and down from the floor, you could do maybe some side leans, quite nice for freeing off stiffness down the side of the body. Adding in a bit of an arm reach. And then some forward and backwards flexing with the lower back. So tucking the bottom under and then rounding. So from there, I've kind of gone through a strategy of 3 different planes of movement to get the spine moving. If someone feels quite stiff and immobile around their hips, they could hold on to something for a bit of balance, circling the hip around. Oh, mine's clicking here. Can you hear that?
No.
And then back the other way. My mic's not down there.
No.
Yeah. And over time, just practicing a little bit of hands-free, particularly if balance is an issue. Things like tightrope walking can be really helpful if someone is feeling like their balance has gone a bit downhill. You can do it holding on to something, you can do it holding a stick to start with, but then build up to doing it hands-free as well.
Goodness. And you see, how long did that take? 2 minutes?
2 minutes, yes.
Parts of your body that you've managed. You can do those sort of things while the kettle's boiling.
Yeah,
or even, virtually while you're making sandwiches, can't you?
This one's a good one while you're Yeah, just waiting for the kettle to boil. Quad
You
stretch.
see, I'd fall over, but you know, you're.
Well, we could get you lying down on the floor and doing it. So
Yes.
I think that the way that we
Uh,
coach people, we always find a way of doing something with someone, regardless of what
yes. Oh,
issues
that's
they've
lovely.
got going
Yes.
on. That's our whole
Yeah.
kind of thing. And throughout lockdown, we offered a pinky promise as well. So if no one could train with us on Zoom, we promised that we would spend as much time as it needed over the phone to press the right buttons.
Right.
And we're still offering our complimentary
Yeah.
Kickstart calls to people as well as
Oh,
free
lovely.
support to help parents with their health and well-being.
That's really good. That's lovely. And also, I want to say thank you because you sent me over a wonderful healthy back
Yeah,
thing yesterday. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing that after we've talked so that people can actually get have a look at it. But it's a really, really great starting point, I think, as well. And the thing is, we only ever get one back on. So if we still feel fairly fit and able, I imagine that's really going to help.
yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's really
Uh,
helpful. Matt Wilson's team helped me to put that together.
oh, brilliant.
Obviously, we met there
Yes,
at EMC conference.
yes.
So
Oh,
yeah, if people want to get a copy of that, it's a free back care guide, and it helps people with their general mobility if they're feeling a bit stiff and achy around their hips as well as their backs or their shoulders.
yeah,
It can be really useful.
lovely.
There's a whole kind of series of videos that people can tune into. And also they can have a look on our YouTube channel as well
Yeah,
for ideas around
yeah,
a lot of exercise that they can do at home.
yeah.
And I think a lot of people that we work with tend to be fair weather exercises. They don't
Yes.
necessarily want to go outdoors, as it gets colder and darker. And what we help people with all that exercise that they can do indoors, and a lot of yoga and Pilates and that side of things as well.
So brilliant. You see, the great thing about you is that you just make it look easy. And you've broken it down into little steps so that anybody could do it around their own kitchen. It doesn't need to be a big trip to the gym or
Not at
a
all.
5K run or anything. You know, you could literally incorporate exercise into a minute here and a minute there throughout the day, can't you?
That's
And
it. And if you do,
hopefully,
yeah, it doesn't have to be a big stint of exercise. If you look at the
no.
research behind it, doing little chunks throughout the day, they call it exercise snacking. Um,
Oh, there's a word for it. That's great.
yes,
But
yeah,
I'm also sure that doing things like that also helps to release the endorphins and helps you to feel better in yourself. And the
yeah.
better we feel, the stronger we are, and the better able to cope with whatever life throws at us. So,
Totally. Yeah. I wrote my
yeah.
dissertation on exercise and mental health and all the mental
Oh,
health well-being
yeah,
effects of the type of exercise
yeah,
that we coach. And I think
yeah,
there's a lot of brain boosting power that exercise gives us. They've done research where it can influence mild to moderate anxiety, mild to moderate depression, and it's just kind of doing something that's fun and puts
yeah,
you kind of in the driving seat, really.
yes.
Um,
Right. So we've got some comments. So I've only just seen
oh,
Amanda says geo, and I don't know what order these have come into, but Amanda says geo coaching as well. Pushing against the wall helps her son. So that's a really good one.
yeah, definitely.
Something to help with balance, a little indoor activity, please. Amanda's asking for if you can
Yeah.
do something quickly there. The other things is I've just joined this and ready to take on the world. Um, um,
So a simple thing you can do with balance, this is something the physios often suggest, is to find something that you do on a daily basis, so that you can associate your new habit of trying to practice balance more with the thing you're already doing on repeat. So like, for example, I'd like to think we're all brushing our teeth regularly. I know there's been times in mummyhood when I've gone, oh, I hadn't even had time to brush my teeth today. Let's go on the principle that people are brushing their teeth regularly. So just standing on one leg whilst you brush your teeth, if you need to hold on to something because of poor balance, then you could, but then eventually just kind of playing with that hand, taking it away from the wall, and then doing the other side while you brush the other side of your chops. That is a good way of doing something every single day. And balance training is like anything; it's something that you can build up, but you do have to continually keep practicing to improve it. Yeah.
Lovely. And Snow is saying, knees are my problem. Any suggested exercises, please?
For her knees?
Yes.
Yeah. It's hard to say without having a look at someone. But sometimes with people that I've trained previously, we've often found that their quadricep muscles here can be quite short. So getting that assessed. So like, for example, the way I would assess it is I would have a look at, okay, what's your alignment like when you stood up? Can you get your heel to your bottom? Can you get your knees together? So my quadricep is at full length. If it wasn't at full length, this knee would probably stick forward. My heel might be away from my bottom, and I might find it quite hard to stand up straight as well. So those would be the little points that I would be looking for in terms of assessing whether their quadricep is at full length. And making use of an NHS physio, having a chat with a GP about it. That GPs will very quickly assess knees, so that might be something to consider if she's not already done that.
Yeah, lovely. But there aren't any sort of general quick knee exercises. And what can get your knees if they're stiff? Is there anything that, or does it depend on what's causing the stiffness?
It can depend on what's causing it, so it's important to get the right diagnosis.
Yeah, no, so it's not something that we can just do here.
There's a whole.
No, that's So
lovely. But just basically getting out and walking a bit more. But the quadricep length, I often find, is one of the common things that is short, and it can be.
Can you do anything about that? Can you lengthen it?
Yeah, so long as you get your technique corrected and you do it consistently, then I've helped quite a lot of people to help their knees get a lot better. Yeah,
brilliant. Yeah, excellent. Right, so we've been chatting for half an hour and it seems like 2 minutes.
Already?
It's been great, I know. So are you still up for finishing the exercise with finishing our chat with a lovely short little relaxation?
Yeah,
so that would be really lovely if you don't. So we'll say goodbye in a minute. If you'd like to talk people through that, that'd be great. Thank you.
So what we're going to do now is a little 5 minutes meditation, relaxation, whatever you'd like to call it, just to kind of notice the difference between when our muscles feel tight and tense, which is often what happens when we're having a meltdown with our kids, and how to then contrast that with the feelings of relaxation and bringing in some well-being. So I'm just going to take a little sit here. If anyone wants to lie down and do it, they can. So if you just come and join me, either seated or lying down, and I'm going to talk you through a series of kind of visualizations with your body, and we'll do a few fist clenches and that sort of thing as well. So if you just close your eyes, and I want you to tune in to your forehead, and I want you to scrunch it up like you're feeling a bit frowny. You're going to scrunch it up, make a bit of a face, and I want you to sort of squeeze your jaw a little bit. Like often we tense our jaw when we're feeling a bit stressed, but then I want you to really soften and flow those muscles. So you're imagining that tension is just emptying out of all those little muscles in your face. And just feeling how that feels there. And then just do that again. So tense your face, scrunch it all up, like you just had a big fight with someone, tense jaw, and then soften. Imagine all the wrinkles are ironing out from your face. Softening the jaw, opening the teeth, gentle smile on your face. And then moving your attention down into your shoulders. I want you to hunch your shoulders up around your ears like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, hunching up, and tense and make a fist with your hands. And then soften, let your shoulders go. Let your arms be loose and floppy. And just visualizing tension melting away, relaxing down. And then do that again. Hunch your shoulders around your ears, tense, make a fist like you're about to have a fight with someone. Oh my God. And then soften and flow. Relax and let it go. Feeling your breathing inside your body. I'd like you to tense up your belly, tense it up. Oh, tense it, squeeze your bottom, tense it all up, holding it all in, and then softening, relaxing, and letting those muscles go. Because often we hold a lot of our emotions inside our bodies and our muscles. Let's do that again. So I want you to tense your tummy, squeeze around your pelvis, squeeze your bottom a bit like you're holding one in, and then soften, relax, let it go. Being aware of your breath again. Moving your attention down through your thighs, through your knees, and into your feet. I want you to scrunch up like curly toes, tense your knees and your thighs, and then soften, relax, and let it go. We're going to do it again. I want you to join me in saying soften, relax, and let it go. So tense your buttocks around your legs, scrunch up your toes, and then soften, relax, and let it go. And just take a moment to sit with your body and allow yourself some breathing space. And just before we close, I'd like you to just fast forward to your half-term week. Perhaps there's something you've been feeling a bit hopeless about, something perhaps you feel like you're dreading, not looking forward to. I want you to visualize whatever that thing is. And I'd like you to flip this thing around so that it puts you in a place of hope. It puts you in a place of empowerment. And it just puts you in that place of feeling good and having fun and like you've absolutely got this. Like you've just nailed it. How does that look in your mind when you're in that place of feeling good, feeling like you've got this? What's the smile on your face like? How does it feel in your body? What are your thoughts like when life is like that? What's your energy like, and how is that energy influencing the people that you care about the most? And I'd like you to imagine the you here and now, stepping into that you and giving yourself a big old hug, a big high five, a pat on the back, however you want to see it. And then I'd like you to take a deep breath in And breathe out. And open your eyes, and maybe you want to share in the comments below how you're feeling right now. How's your energy shifted? And that's just a simple thing that you can do any time of the day, that you need to just get back into that frame of mind of having a handle on things. And it's something that we do regularly at the end of our classes.
Yeah, that was lovely. Absolutely lovely, Claire. I started joining in, and then I suddenly realised people wouldn't want to see me scrunching my face up online. So there's probably a little bit of me going,
I'm used to it. Oh.
And one last thing, and if we don't have time or you don't know, don't worry. But she was asking, is there anything that you can suggest for the thoracic spinal area?
Yeah. So it depends on the severity of it. If it's a mobility issue around the thoracics, then I would usually start someone off on a small foam roller. If it's very painful, let me just grab something. You can still hear me talking whilst I'm over here having a look in my. I'm
expecting you to come out dressed.
It has been known. So yeah, if someone's got quite reduced thoracic mobility, there's a couple of different levels that you can work on. So initially stacking up on a few cushions, sat down on the floor, hands around the back of the head, and just allowing some tilt back just for a few seconds, and then coming back up. So you'd hang.
Can you do that with ordinary cushions if you don't have those sort of, you
can just do it with some cushions from the sofa. Yeah. You probably need a bit more stacking because they're quite soft. And then over time, and you can see these on my YouTube channel as well. So if you search foam rolling on there, you'll pick these exercises up. The foam rollers are much firmer. And sometimes when people have got thoracic issues, actually the roller is a bit too firm. So if you have got a roller and you try with a roller and it's too much, then use the cushions to start with, and then you can sort of build up. There's different levels, and we do some Kickstart consultations. People can talk to us over the phone about them, and we can assess things like their thoracic mobility. If someone would like me to have a look at them, then they can get in touch.
Lovely, brilliant. Okay, I'm just checking to see if we've got any other comments before we say goodbye. No, 9 comments altogether. Hold on.
I tell you what else I was thinking. One of the things we did a lot of in lockdown that kept our older son, who's 7, entertained and engaged, was following Rob Biddulph's channel. So he is an artist and illustrator, and you kind of follow along. So if someone is on a device a lot, actually it's a very interactive way of using the device in a positive way that they learn to draw. And our son has learned to draw really well, actually, by following his stuff. And his books are incredible. That would be a great activity to do over half term. There's lots of different things in. There's stuff about emotional management as well. So like, punching a pillow if you feel a bit angry and that sort of thing. And he's just released a new book. I was fortunate to meet him. We had a literature festival here a couple of weeks ago, so we went and thanked him for
brilliant.
keeping us sane in lockdown.
Snow has just come back and said we love Draw with Rob here, so somebody else is a fan. And also Geraldine says thank you for the thoracics exercises. It's an old whiplash injury from a car accident that gets sore in damp weather, and nobody knows why the weather affects it. So brilliant. Claire, it's been an absolute joy to have you. It's lovely to join us. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to talk and help other people.
Thank you. And who knows, maybe we'll do it again sometime. So
why not? We should do a Christmas special.
Yes, that'd be great. Okay, lovely. You take care. Have a lovely day. And if anybody has any more questions, what I'll do is I'll put Claire's page, the link to Claire's page in this post so that you can find her, so that you can contact her.
Yeah, if people just search for Zig's exercise.
Zig's exercise, lovely.
Yeah, there's a contact us on a website, so they can drop me a message that way.
Lovely. Oh, somebody's asking, Geraldine's asking, what's your YouTube channel called?
Zig's exercise.
Zig's exercise YouTube. Great. Okay, lovely. Take care. Thank you. Thanks. Lovely.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.